Hey guys, Pacifist here. Welcome back to another video. Today we've got our next episode for Undertale. I think this is the 11th episode, I'm not too sure. Timestamp for this video, right now it is 5:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The 16th of... I was gonna say the 16th of Valentine's Day, the 16th of February 2016. Now, I would like to say this episode is gonna be a bit different than most of them. The reason for that is because when I recorded this episode and a couple other episodes, they were actually all corrupted, and I didn't know that they were corrupted until I got to this episode, the one where I went back to talk to Alphys, Papyrus, and Undyne, as Flowey had told me to do, and I didn't realize any of the files were corrupted until I got to this one, because when I went to render the videos, it turns out that the entire file was corrupted. And luckily, I was able to get them all to work except this one. I got the audio, but I got the video, but the audio is gone for good. So that being said, I am going to have to overlay my own audio commentary to this video. So I hope it doesn't completely take away from the fact that none of my reactions are going to be live in the video. But nevertheless, I had to upload something, and to prove that I'm still in game, I'm not like completely going on without. Yeah, so basically, entire summary of this video up to this point. A lot of the time lapse that you kind of saw in the beginning, I was completely lost. I had no idea where I was supposed to go until eventually I found my way to Snowdin, where I went to go talk to Undyne and Papyrus. And basically, the gist of it is Undyne wants to send a message to Alphys, but Undyne wants to send a message to Alphys, but Undyne gets like nervous or something, and basically Undyne wants me to send the message to Alphys, and so I do that for them, and then I'll have to walk all the way back. But I guess with all this free time, not necessarily reacting to what's going on in the game, I guess I can talk about theories that I have, and I was going to write a list on stuff to talk about, but I completely forgot about it, and I wasn't sure when my parents were gonna get back, when my mom was gonna get back home and interrupt my recording. So I was just like, hey, you know what, let's just go on freestyle, and hopefully I don't completely screw up like other times. So the main thing that happens in this video, and if you guys are not into spoilers, then oh well, but basically it's kind of difficult to talk about because like I'm looking at what's going on screen, and I'm thinking, should I talk about what's going to happen, or should I talk about what is going to happen, or should I wait until that event happens so that I can talk about it while it's happening? And I guess I'll just continue with what's going on screen right now. My friend Taylor, he told me that I should go back to this location where I am right now, the waterfall, and I should call Papyrus and Undyne. And one of the things that Undyne said was one day these flowers started growing here without any sort of explanation as to why they started growing there, and that is very curious. I mean, this is a dump. I'm not really sure if that has any correlation as to why those flowers are there. Those flowers, they're pretty much in a lot of various places. I'm not really sure why. That location is also like the first time I played the game, or also in this run, the Pacifist run, when I was being chased by Undyne, and Undyne cut the bridge and I fell, I landed in a pile of flowers, and I'm not too sure if those flowers are Flowey. And then there was that one scene where the entire screen was white, and then there was that like the voice in the background who was like, my name is, and then I never got the name because cinematic and suspenseful purposes that Toby Fox decided would be a good idea. And yeah, so basically at this point I'm kind of just calling in various places just to make sure that I'm getting all the information that I might need, and I'm just going on from there. I'm going on my way to Alphys' place, where I will then eventually deliver the letter. And basically the letter was to go on a date with Alphys. Oh yeah, I found Temmie Village. This was honestly the greatest day of my life, because I've heard about Temmie, I've seen videos of Temmie, and Temmie is like one of my favorite characters. Temmie is one of my favorite characters. Napstablook is one of my favorite characters, and the dog. I don't remember the dog's name. Doggo, I'll just call it. I know it's not Doggo, but that dog that runs around and is white, and it's just great. Those three, they're like my favorite three favorite for life. But I found Temmie Village, with some instructions from my friends. You feel something, you're filled with determination. That is probably one of the greatest puns in all of life. Maybe not. Anyways, this was hilarious to go through. I really wish I had the audio for this, but I don't. So yeah, I talked to everyone. And yeah, Temmie. I did know that Temmie, what was it? I think her name was Temmie Chang, was one of the not developers, designers for the game. So I'm pretty sure this is kind of like a mural for her, because, you know, I think the entire game was made by, I don't want to say just 2 people, but it's like Toby Fox and Temmie Chang are the only 2 people that I know that made this game or had some sort of correlation in the production of this game, because I've heard that Toby Fox programmed the game, composed the music for the game, and I guess, I know he said like he didn't want a huge team to help develop the game because he didn't want to have to depend on other people to help make the game. So yeah, that's cool. This was also kind of funny. We got this odd mushroom guy here, and then he's just like, please help me, I don't want to be here. And I mean, like, you know, I mean, for the first 2 days, if I was to live with the Temmies in Tem Village, I'd probably be like, oh yeah, this is awesome. But, you know, eventually I'd turn into that guy. I'd be like, please kill me or get me out of here. And, you know, I probably would have dug him out and carried him somewhere, but I didn't because I can't. And then we got to visit Tem's shop. And as I've been told before, I should talk with the shopkeepers, but Tem had literally nothing to say, because it was just like, hi, I'm Temmie, welcome to Tem shop, yes, we have a lot of history, and that's it. I really wish they had more history. I would have loved to delve into the history of Tem, but you know, the only thing that we've got for history is that painting with a dragon and a Temmie. I don't even know what they're called. I don't know if they're called Temmies or if they're just called Tems, or if Tem is a name, or if Temmie is their name. And then there was that one guy who was named Bob. Don't even know why, but you know, there was Bob. There's always a Bob somewhere in a game, it seems. But yeah, so catching up to what I was going to say, I had a letter from Undyne that I was going to deliver to Alphys, and basically at some point in the game, at some point in that conversation, it turned out that Undyne wanted to go on a date with Alphys, and because I was the one who had decided to deliver the letter, I got kind of stuck into having that date with Undyne. No, not with Undyne, with Alphys. Why don't I say Undyne? And yeah, and so basically at that point it was really awkward because Alphys was like, my true destiny is with Undyne, and I'm like, I don't have a true destiny because I'm just the male man person. And yeah, so that was interesting to say the least. We went to go date at the dump, and I don't know. That's where, like it said in the phone calls that I had with Undyne earlier, the dump was the first place that Undyne and Alphys had ever met. So I mean, like, to go on a date there, I guess that's quite interesting. Like he said, it's a great place to find cool swords and hot girls or something. I don't remember what it was. I might be just making stuff up. Specifically the hot girl one, I don't know. But yeah, it's surprising too, after all the gross stuff I did, I don't really deserve to be forgiven. And I guess it's because when Alphys decided to ask me if I wanted to hang out with her and watch Kitty Mew Mew, I denied them, and I have to get a call, so I'll be right back. And I'm back, onwards we shall go. So, we start off dating right here, and as you'll see, it's really just kind of like a train wreck. It's just like, it's not gonna work. We just know from the beginning, it's just, yeah, like the first time when I dated Papyrus, it's really weird saying that I dated both of them. It's just like, it didn't work, and it's just, anyways, I dated Papyrus, and it was just like, there was always something to go along with. It was always like, Papyrus was always on top of things. He was always like, oh yeah, look at this and look at that. Alphys is just kind of like, yeah, just look at that face. Right? Anyway, don't worry, I'm prepared. I have been stockpiling gifts in anticipation for a date like this. Yes, anticipating a date with Undyne. Yet it was not with Undyne. It was with me that would eventually turn into a date with not Undyne. Yeah, it would eventually turn into a date with Undyne. So, one of the things that Undyne actually, not Undyne, I keep on mixing up names. One of the things that Alphys mentions in the date is that Alphys basically built herself upon a bunch of lies or something. And we later realize that those lies are actually probably what is hidden later on in the video, and it's um, basically there obviously has to be a huge difference between the true ending, or the pacifist ending, the pacifist run and the neutral run. And basically what we figure out later on is that what Alphys is hiding is basically the main difference between what is going on. And one of the things that I'd actually like to note is that um, in both, is it both? I think it's both. No, in apparently all of the neutral endings, Alphys runs away and is basically gone. And obviously, why would it be that in every single ending except for the pacifist run, and I'm not sure about the genocide run, but basically Alphys doesn't stay and basically runs away? Obviously, Alphys has like some sort of, well, deep secrets, as we eventually do uncover, but basically these secrets are foreshadowed here when, yeah, these secrets are basically foreshadowed when Alphys is talking about how she is I can't talk today. These secrets are foreshadowed when Alphys talks about how she is basically living a lie. I wouldn't say a lie, but a lot of things that she might have said is like not true. And she does mention a couple of things. She's like, oh, you know, like for example, I was pretending to be busy, but I was actually watching TV, and anime, I said anime was real, or anime is real life in the overworld, but it's not. And I mean, yeah, those are lies, but I mean, those aren't the kind of lies that you'd expect somebody would be thinking as very burdening, I guess, for lack of better terms, on Alphys. As you can see, I'm the royal scientist. All I've ever done is hurt people. I've told her so many lies. She thinks I'm a lot cooler than I actually am. And I mean, sure, to a certain degree, that might be the case with why she's like sad or acting like this. But in all seriousness, though, there's obviously something a lot deeper. Like, Alphys has a lot going on for her in the story. Or I'm probably just talking a lot, and people who know about Undertale a lot are facepalming. But anyways, I'm gonna keep talking because that is all I can do at the moment. And so basically, during the date, Alphys talks about, she's basically asking me, you know, what should I do? Should I run away? Because while I'm in the dump, Undyne pops up and it's just like, hey, do you know where Alphys is, or have you delivered the letter yet? And then at this point, I'm basically kind of like, oh no, what am I supposed to do? Like, what should I do? Should I run away? Should I tell Undyne? Should I keep lying? And at this point, you know, there's obviously a bunch of choices that you have to make. It's like, what will you do? Will you tell her? Will you like? Do you tell her to continue lying? Or, as you can see, we're actually role playing right now. It's just like, you know, let's just pretend I'm Undyne. You know, let's practice you talking to Undyne so that, you know, we can practice telling the truth. And eventually, it gets, you know, continues to be awkward and stuff. Alphys is just that kind of personality, and eventually it gets to the point where Undyne just kind of comes out of nowhere and it's just like, oh, I found you guys. Oh yeah, over here, Undyne, I can't take this anymore. I'm madly in love with you. Hold me, Undyne, hold me. Bloop. What did you just say? And yeah, at this point, Alphys is just kind of like, uh-oh, we've been caught. We don't know what to do. And obviously at this point, it's kind of like, oh shoot, Undyne is so screwed and is gonna like, we don't know, like, Undyne, no, not Undyne is screwed. Alphys is so screwed and stuff like that. But basically, you know, after every scene that Toby Fox has, there's always some sort of comic relief. And you'll see that in the end, Papyrus just kind of comes bursting out of the background, and Undyne flipping dunks Alphys into the trash can. But, you know, that's kind of like, oh, you know, let's all take a breather. You know, that was kind of funny. And then, yeah, so there's that. Later on, though, we'll get a call from Papyrus. Papyrus will be like, hey, you know, I kind of worked Alphys too hard, because Undyne's just like, we need to get you into tip-top shape. And so basically, Papyrus is just like, you should go to the not the factory. You should go to the lab, check on Alphys, you know, make sure everything is okay. And of course, once we get there, obviously not everything is as okay. Oh, here it is. Dunk of the century. Kobe. And yeah, so there's basically that. Alphys gets dunked into the trash. And then, yeah, there was all of that. Yeah, I really want to keep on talking about what's going on, but I've kind of been talking a lot. I've been talking faster than the actual video, and I've just kind of been rambling along, so I guess I might as well just go along with it. Basically, I get to the factory, not the factory, it keeps mixing up words. I have this thing where, I don't know, I say one thing and I mean another, and some people say Freudian slips, but I mean, Freudian slips are meant to show the underlying feelings of that person, but honestly, I'm just mixing up words, and then this happens to me also when I'm reading, and I would say that I might be dyslexic, but that's kind of like it's when you find out what's wrong with yourself. You self-diagnose. I don't want to self-diagnose with myself with that. I don't want to create excuses for why I'm like that, but it's just kind of annoying because I can't really seem to control it. It's like sometimes I watch over my old videos and I'll just be like, why did I say that? I didn't mean to say that, but I did say that, and I kind of just go on with it completely normal. Like, in my head, I say one thing, and I completely go on with it as if I said that one thing, but in real life I completely said something else, and it's just like, it's really annoying. Kind of like, I'll say, oh, you know, Undyne is really good at science, and in reality I meant to say Alphys, but I said Undyne, and I just keep on going with it, and really I just don't know what it is. Like, this has been happening for a while, so I really don't know. Anyways, we finished our date with, I was gonna say Undyne. See, there it is again. It's really annoying. We finished our date with Alphys. We go along, and I'm like, okay, you know, I don't really know what to do at this point, but really this is the only direction. As we're about to leave this area, we get the call from Papyrus, and then basically Papyrus is just like, hey, if you guys have been reading the text on the screen, basically he was like, Alphys, do 100 laps, because we're gonna like get you all trained up and stuff. And basically he's like, oh, I think I might have worked too hard. And this is also kind of suspicious. You can see, for no apparent reason, you should go to the lab. And then one of the last words he says is goodbye with like a kind of cry face. And I don't know if I'm being over analytical about that. Like, oh, you know, it just seems like for some odd apparent reason, Papyrus might also be in on this, right? And basically, before I went into the elevator, I kind of went all around, and I couldn't find Alphys anywhere in the lab, so I was just like, hey, you know what, this elevator is open, and it wasn't open last time, so, you know, Alphys might be upstairs, because when you look outside the laboratory, it's like super tall. But yeah, basically I went into it, and when I turned it on, it collapsed all the way down to wherever it took me, and at this point, we go upon this completely new area that I've never seen. Like, I've seen spoilers before, right? Like, Undertale is a game that's meant to be played blindly, but I've never seen any sort of photos, or I've never heard of anyone mentioning of such a room like this. And I mean, like, this is such a large turning table for a game like this. Actually, let me open up Skype, because I have like a couple of things. If I scroll up, it was like a mini summary of basically what happened here. If I can find it. If I can't find it, I guess it doesn't really matter too much. But basically, wait, can I find it? Or can I scroll up far enough? Okay, so basically the way it works is, the entries are basically, I would assume it is Undyne. I'm not too sure if it actually is Undyne, because apparently there's this other guy named Gaster, and I'm not going to go into it because I don't know anything about it. But basically, these entries are written, and basically it's about how they want to try to create a 7th artificial human soul to try to take down the barrier that is blocking the monsters from exiting the world, because they have 6. And basically the way they plan to do that is they want to try to take a monster soul and artificially like give it steroids and make it super strong. But basically what they do is they ask around the place for monsters that have fallen, and basically fallen comatose, and before they eventually die and explode into a bunch of dust. And basically the main problem is that once they turn into dust, the main problem for them is that the soul pretty much dies right after, while in comparison to human souls, when a human dies, their soul goes on. And basically what they try to do is, apparently determination is not merely just an emotion or something of being, but rather determination is something physical and something you can inject to people. And so basically they tried to inject determination from the human souls into monster souls, and they tried to make monsters, like, it's kind of like a hybrid monster human combination, but apparently none of the bodies have turned to dust, so I can't get their souls. I told the families that I would give them the dust back for their funerals. So basically these monsters were supposed to be dead, but later on they find out that, but the monsters actually come back to life. And they're kind of just like, oh shoot, well, I guess it's kind of happy, you know, we got the monsters back to life for some reason, but for on the downside we weren't able to get the souls. But I mean, like, you know, whatever. And so basically this is really eerie, and I went to turn on these sinks, and I'm just like, okay, lol, let's just turn on all the sinks, you know, flood the place. And then for some reason this one was different than the rest, and I'm just like, what is going on? Smiley face, yeah. And very creepy smiley faces. And basically it was at this point that I was just like, there is so much more to the story than I actually know. And I was flipping out because I had no idea what was going on. Like, look at these. Like, apparently each of the monsters that you find down here is a derivative of a regular monster. And I guess this is like what happened to the monsters that they injected determination with. But honestly, I have no idea what is going on. Like, you look at this and I'm just like, I am dying because I have no idea what's going on. Like, I'm looking at these guys, and later on I meet more monsters, and I'm like, hey, these guys kind of look like other monsters that I have fought before. But I have no idea what these guys are from. Like, I don't know what these guys even look like. So yeah, it was interesting to say the least. I was really confused because it's like very cryptic. Like, I have no idea what I'm supposed to do. You take your cell phone and you can hear voices. Come join the fun. And I'm like, what is this? Like, no, none of this is okay. But basically, I guess this is what happened. They injected determination, like steroids, and bad stuff happened. And basically, I think they mentioned this later on. I'm not too sure if I'm correct about this, but basically, humans cannot harbor monster souls like monsters cannot harbor human souls or something like that. And basically, they had to find a way to create something that would hold this hybrid monster-human determination soul. Actually, now that I think of it, there's something that I find really interesting, and it's that throughout the entire game, no matter what's going on in that scene, when you save at a save spot, it'll say you are filled with determination. Now that you think about it, considering you can inject determination like it's some sort of drug, yes, humans are, I guess, filled with determination if they were able to get this determination from another human. So it becomes a whole literal meaning. Like, I have no idea. Yeah, it becomes a literal meaning. Like, yes, you actually are filled with determination, whether you like it or not. And it's kind of like, you know, you save at a spot and it's just like, oh, you know, that's kind of cool. You're filled with determination. Determines me to continue on with the story. And then there was that pun with determination, but it's kind of like, no, you actually are filled with determination. And Asgore wanted to kill you, and I don't know. That was unnecessary. But basically, yeah, so there was all of that. I did have a mini theory that they were gonna use Metadon as the way to hold the human monster, the hybrid soul, but it's just like, I don't think that would work, and I just kind of left it off to the side. Entry number 12. Nothing is happening. I don't know what to do. I'll just keep injecting everything with determination. I want this to work. Yep, determination is a strong drug. One of the bodies opened its eyes. As you can see at this point, it's kind of like, what? I thought they were dead, and they weren't. It's an empty dog food bowl. I'm not too sure why there's a dog food bowl, but you know, there is. The clock is broken. I'm just gonna kind of read along because I'm not really too sure what to talk about. Everyone that had fallen down has woken up. They're all walking around and talking like nothing is wrong. I thought they were goners. And then at this point, I saved. One of the curious things is that none of the save spots actually mention determination. I don't know why I checked out this bed. I just checked out the bed and I'm like, oh hey, look at that. This actually had something underneath it. So like, that was convenient. I decided to continue off to the right, and I'm just like, more flowers, and I'm like, okay, none of this is okay. Then I started theorizing, you know, what if they made this monster human soul and injected it into a flower, which then created Flowey, and really I I don't know if that's even correct, but I mean, if I think about it, Flowey is like, how do I explain this? Flowey is different than the rest. I don't really, I've never seen another Flowey, basically. Like, you see many of the same monsters, I get. Well, I don't know. I mean, that's also arguable for like Sans, Papyrus, Toriel, Asgore. Like, there's only one of them. But I mean, like, Flowey, there's only one Flowey. And at this point, I'm like, why am I looking in the mirror? And I'm like, shoot, I've encountered another monster. And I'm like, screw this. At this point, I was kind of like, what is going, like, nothing is okay. Like, look at its body. It's like hanging and going through the thing. But look at its eye. The eye. It's the exact same monster as one of the monsters that was like in the thing that was like going up to the core. I don't remember what it is. And really, it's like, it's very cryptic. I was trying to read that. The last two words was afraid of, and I really didn't know what was going on. And then there's this guy. I actually saw a tweet from Toby Fox. It was like, that thing that was covered in butterflies was called like Everyman or something. I wasn't too sure. But yeah, and I'm just like, I don't even know this. All of these attacks that have been going on, everything that they're saying, everything that what they look, probably has some sort of subliminal meaning as to what is going on. But really, I didn't really know what was going on. It always ended with you. Yeah, and then this happened, and I'm just like, this is weird. And yeah. So what am I trying to say with this? What if Flowey is what they injected the soul into? Which, I don't know. I mean, Flowey is one of the... No, not really one of. I mean, there's... Yeah, Flowey, I actually found out the other day, Toriel is a derivative of tutorial. And basically, Toriel takes you through the beginning of the thing. But basically, aside from... no, it's Flowey. Flowey, like, he's the first person you meet, and he's the last person you meet. Or thing or whatever. But basically, like, Flowey, it's just, I keep saying Flowey, but I don't know what I'm trying to say. Like, Flowey is, I want to say Flowey is beyond the storyline, because Flowey is like, okay, go back to the beginning and do the entire thing without attacking anyone. But I mean, like, Flowey is part human? Question mark? I don't know. It's just possible, maybe? I don't know what to say anymore. There's like 3 minutes left in this video, and I'm really just kind of clueless. Like, honestly, the moment the elevator collapsed, like, I freaked out, because the elevator falling had the exact same sound clip as Flowey getting completely destroyed by the 6 souls. And so I was just like, at this point, I was just like, the tables have turned. Like, something is up, and I need to find out what is up. And I'm just kind of like, yeah, that was very interesting. Then this happened. I'm like, I don't even know what to say about this. Like, I would just like turn around like, this is a nope. And then this happened. This was also extremely creepy for 2 reasons. Number 1, there's a wagging, I would say, tail. I don't even know. Number 2, I was walking very slowly up, but could walk very fast down. And I'm like, if there are jump scares in Undertale, I'm just gonna nope out, because I don't like jump scares. And I was like, I gotta do it. I get to it. I open it, and there was nothing. And look at that. The tail even starts wagging faster, like suspense, and stretch my back, because my back hurts a lot for some reason. And then something I found interesting is I can walk up and down normally, and just like, yep, nothing happened at all. So I get here, and I'm like, oh, safe spot. I'm probably just going to end it off right here. And then look at that. It's not a safe spot. It is rather just another monster that just wants to ruin my life. And this is when I was like, something is up. Like, yeah, of course, Angel, like, nothing was up before. But if you look at it, if you look at this, the bottom of the body looks like one of those... I don't remember what I think it was like a siren or something. I don't remember. But it was like the bottom of the body looked exactly the same as to... one of the past bodies. And something else to look at is the lips. It kind of looks like I think it was a mold small or something. Oh yeah, and this I was just like, oh shoot, like I don't even know. I'm just like, screw all this. And oh, I actually died. I didn't know I died there. I completely forgot that I died. I think I was at this point I was just like, I died, and I'm like, you know what, I'm kind of just done with this game. I'm just gonna leave it for now. But I mean, like, at this point, nothing to do but finish recording this and then record another episode, and maybe the next episode I'll finally beat the true ending, the pacifist run, the one that's... Yeah, and then I had a bad memory, and I'm like, bad memory hurts 1 HP, question. I'm like, I'm just done. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like if you enjoyed, comment what you want to see next, and anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye!